I am a regular person. I'm not a size 2. Curves are cool and hot. I'm not a rapper, athlete, or socialite. Just me. I wasn't born in Beverly Hills. I have fat feet. They're cute though. And I have my own opinion. I am a regular person. I am Just Chamia. Hey folks, we're here today with the homie Jay Rich.
Hey now.
Comedian. All right, Jay, I want to talk about you, of course.
Okay.
But first, tell us, what are you reading and what are you listening to?
Right now I'm listening, I'm going into the archives of Childish Gambino.
Okay.
Because of the This Is America video, so I had to go back and check out all the rest of the stuff since I fell in love with that. Right now I'm reading some script writing books.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing like, they got like, I forgot the name of the book, but it basically gives you exercises and things to do to try to strengthen your writing and different things. Go and start writing like some sitcoms and things. So I'm trying to learn from the gate, on my own right now. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing.
We might have to collaborate. Hashtag Chamia Ray Productions.
Hello. And make it work.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been listening to that. I've been listening to a little J. Cole and that type of thing. And then I've actually been going back with the Lauryn Hill Unplugged all day this morning. So it's crazy you brought that up.
Lauryn Hill Unplugged. All right.
Yeah. Have you heard it?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute, but yeah, I have. Good stuff. All good stuff.
What you been listening to?
Oh my gosh, I have been listening to the Snoop gospel album.
What?
Actually.
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
Snoop got a gospel album?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I'm on that solid gold with the Clark sisters. That's my jam.
Okay.
So I've been listening to that. Miles Davis is my go-to, and so I've been listening to Miles. And
is Miles one that does Sentimental Mood?
That's Coltrane.
No, that's Coltrane.
Yeah, that's
I love
Coltrane.
Sentimental Mood.
I do too. I love Lettucey's version of Sentimental Mood. Shout out to Bay Area girl Lettucey.
Hello, hey.
Yeah, but it's not about me, it's about you.
Okay.
So and we're gonna get more into your story, but before we do, I want to get your opinion on a few select local, national, and global news stories.
Okay.
All right. So recently, Bozoma St. John stepped away from Uber. So she's a superstar, brilliant, talented sister. And she was at Uber as the chief brand officer. So after lots of scandal, they had lots of sexual harassment claims, discrimination claims. Their CEO had stepped down. And so Uber had brought her in to kind of help them with the brand of the rebranding of the and but she left after a year for a better opportunity, and they had never made her the chief marketing officer. So now she's chief marketing officer at somewhere else.
Do you think that's like the main reason why she left, because they never made her the chief?
It could be, because they certainly still need the help. And in my opinion, not much has changed in terms of the brand and the perception.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, but so she didn't make no impact when that year that she was there?
Well, she did, but it's well, there's my opinion of the impact, but there's a lot of work to still be done within that organization, both here nationally and abroad, and they certainly have a number of issues. A Recode.net article stated that one thing that St. John's departure underscored is that is the now near absence of women at the top echelons of Uber management. So there's even fewer women in management positions at Uber, but also other places. Last year, Fortune magazine released their 2017 Fortune 500 list. So it's a list that they put out every year, where they found that women made up only 6.4% of CEOs at Fortune 500 companies, which was the most in 63 years that they've been doing this. Well, why do you think that is?
No, do you think it's more like so? Because I wouldn't say, I mean, we all know women and men are equal, right? So I'm just saying, do you think that there's a war out there against women when it comes to financial gain like that?
It could be.
Like a systematic type thing to all women, or do you think it might be just black women? or is it all women total?
So the 6.4% is all women total. If we're looking at black women in Fortune 500 companies,
it's 0.0 point something.
Exactly, it's definitely less than 1%.
Right.
So we could certainly talk about what's wrong at Uber and whatever, but also looking at the fact that women only hold like 1% or 11% of roles in executive leadership in Silicon Valley per 2015 Business Insider report. How do you think that having so few women in leadership roles and executive leadership roles impacts the esteem of other women in the workplace or little girls in setting their dreams and aspirations of what they could do and where they could go?
Well, I think it's more like for inspiration of like little girls growing up. I mean, it gotta always start at the home, right? So I mean, you wanna have imageries like in jobs, on TV, on your walls, everything to try to live, but it got to be embedded in them, in my opinion, from the parents and everybody around them. Because if you're not in a position of power within their company, you got to start your own.
There it
the
is.
way I feel about it, because you know why fight and pick it? Oh, there's no women there. Not like that. Not saying that they shouldn't be, but I feel like it's more of an achievable goal that we don't have to not cry about, but don't have to worry about if we start our own companies or if the women start their own companies and built on that. Do you feel as though women are being held back from opening their own and being the top of their own enterprise and things?
I think that, no, anyone can certainly start a business, but starting a business and having a successful business are two different things. We know that, the majority of businesses fail within the first year.
Yeah.
We know
first
that.
6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know that also it's not just a matter of starting a company, but getting the contracts in the business. So yes, we can have women-owned businesses and everybody can be a CEO. But if you're not getting the customers, if you're not getting the support, then what's the point of that?
Right.
So do you think that something like, when people think of affirmative action, they think about race and bringing in more ethnic or racial equality in the workplace?
But does affirmative action also works for women too?
It does.
It's for the minority, right? Women are considered a minority too, right?
Yes, even though I hate that term. But yes, women are. So do you think like bringing back affirmative action could maybe be a solution for this?
I don't know. I truly believe, I don't know. To say the truth, like I really believe in independence. Like ground up, like I understand you always got your hurdles to jump over, but I believe that if we start our own businesses and support each other. That's one question I wanted to ask you when you was telling me about it. Sometimes you don't get the support, but why don't we get the support like we should? If it was like the other person building the business and us building the business, or a woman building the business, why wouldn't she get the support as the other person? Why do you think that reason?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of different reasons that go into that. I think a lot of it's psychological. I mean, and I won't speak just to women-owned businesses, but you look at businesses owned by communities of color or black-owned businesses, and certainly there's been lots of discussion in the black community how we don't support our own businesses and we go and we buy from the big box store versus our local market or the local. So I think
like
a lot of
segregation, right?
Right. I think
before
a lot
segregation,
of
we had to support our own business.
Yeah, before integration. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean before integration, we supported our own business. So in a way, to end segregation, do you think hurt the black business in a way? Because in a way, we was fighting to go shop with somebody else.
We were fighting to go shop with someone else.
Because you had your own cafe. We
had no choice.
And you know what I mean? But we want to pick it to go mess with Jim's, and he don't want us there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why would we want to go somewhere where they don't want us?
Right.
So in a way, I'm 50-50, and I've always been kind of iffy about that whole movement because it seemed like a consumer movement. Like, man, we want to spend money with the whites. You know what I mean? But it was cool spending with us.
Right.
And then we'll keep it lit. All the businesses will rise to the top if we kept it with us. So, I don't know. And then it's almost like, we only hire whites. Cool. Well, we only hire blacks. Or we only hire women. How about that? Could we argue about that if that's the way the world's turning? But and then they still do it now, even though they might not say it. You think I can open all right? Let me ask you a question. You think I can open a barber shop in Chinatown in Oakland, and I prosper with their community? Me personally.
You?
Me opening a barber shop.
And you being the face of the business.
Yes, and I'm cutting Asian hair. Do you think that I will ball out of control and my bank account is going to be fluffy?
Probably not.
Why not?
Sadly.
Why?
Sadly.
Because they support their own. But but the thing is, I think it's conditioned in our minds some kind of way for us not to support our own. Like if you come buy a shirt from me, like if I'm selling t-shirts after the show, you come buy a shirt from me. Oh man, how much shirt? $20. Come on, man, I got 15 for you, brother. Come on, brother. But then you go to Macy's and then you pay the $250 for for the polo. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's like you said earlier. I think it's more of the conditioning. It's our mind state around business. It's our mind state about everything.
Yeah.
We got a false sense of success unless it's connected to a multi-million dollar business with the white man.
Message. All right. It has been 4 years since the Flint, Michigan water crisis was made public, and they still don't have clean water for drinking and sometimes bathing. There's been lots of cognitive defects in children there, increased, really a lot of cases of Legionnaire's disease, and we still don't even know what all the long-term effects are going to be. And a lot of these issues are primarily affecting issues, and, it's a predominantly black community.
Right.
Even here in Central California and throughout the San Joaquin Valley, there are hundreds of thousands of residents that haven't had clean drinking water, safe drinking water in over a decade. And this is coming out of a UC Davis study. Okay. According to a report by the State Water Resources Control Board here in California, contaminated groundwater is the source of drinking water for 99% of the Tulare County population here in California. So when people think about or hear about not having access to clean drinking water, most times in America, we're thinking of places abroad. We're not thinking about right here. When we think about water crisis in America, the one that people may know about or have heard about at some point was the Flint, Michigan water crisis. But here in California, which is the 6th largest global economy.
Right.
So we talk about in the world. Out of all the countries in the world, our state is the 6th largest global economy.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm about to turn it off. I thought I had it up.
But so my first question is, did you know that the Flint, Michigan water crisis was still ongoing? Did you know that here, even in California, there are hundreds of thousands of residents here that haven't had clean drinking water in over a decade?
Well, I pretty much, I haven't heard anything more, like you said, about Michigan. I assume that they're still probably going through it. I recently heard, maybe within the last 5 months, about here in California, because it was on the news, a lot of this Oakland school district, the water, the kids can't even take showers in there because it's all polluted and everything like that. And then I've been against drinking tap water for the longest. At first, I used to be against buying water. I'm like, I ain't buying no water. Water's free. But then you can taste the difference in this bad water out here. So, I mean, I don't know, with all this money that we got, I mean, they're putting their I guess the powers that be made that priority way down here for them. And then, I mean, we building stadiums and different things like that. I mean, you can see all different type of stuff that money could be going for that goes for something else. But I guess we're in a capitalist country, right?
Yeah, but water is life. Water is life. Our bodies are predominantly made up of water.
But then Ocean Spring got water on sale, so it helps stay. So now Ocean Spring Lightweight is happy about the situation.
But we have
because they get it from the source. You seen the commercials,
right?
And
that's what they say.
So they making money off the devastation. So who benefits off of it? A lot of people benefit off people not being able to drink the water.
Well, that's true, and we have seen reports come out in the last few months actually about the dangers of drinking bottled water and all of the plastic microparticles that are in there that are the high levels that affect us too. So bottled water is actually less safe than.
Have you heard of alkaline water?
The alkaline water.
Yeah, alkaline. My boy Shelly Tatum's been trying to push it for me. He got a machine that turns everything and costs like $1,000, $2,000 you can have or something like that. But I don't know too. Everybody's saying one water is better than I personally like Fiji water. Do you like Fiji water?
I do like Fiji. It's very smooth.
I'm telling you, I think it's the cleanest water on earth. Fijians. Shout out to the Fijians out there bringing that water.
So in terms of the infrastructure here in America and our water and things like that, do you think that this is an issue that we should be talking about? Do you think that these are issues that we should be bringing to the ballot to get fixed. We know that this is an election year, and we have elections coming up in November. Whose responsibility is it to fix it, or is it just buy some bottled water if you can and get over it?
Well, like you said, water is life. Everybody don't have money to buy bottled water. It is a serious issue, especially because you got to bathe in it and different things like that. So yeah, no, it's a health hazard. It needs to be taken care of. It needs to really just be looked at and figured and find a solution to fix. Because if this is the greatest country in the world, we should have good water. Right? At least good water.
Should.
Right. Right. So places like Michigan and then now the Bay Area water. At one point, San Francisco Bay Area is supposed to have the best water in the United States. But now, I got to tell my daughter, don't drink. I'll give you a bottle. I'll put a bottle of water in your backpack. Don't drink out the school thing. So everybody's in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta fix it.
Gotta fix it.
Every year, tens of thousands of refugees cross into Europe after crossing the Mediterranean Sea. So, an Al Jazeera article stated that a rescue ship had picked up more than 600 refugees who were drifting off the coast of Libya in Africa in inflatable boats. This included over 100 unaccompanied minors. Italy and Malta, so both of those countries, refused to let this rescue boat dock with all of these hundreds of refugees. And Spain, which is, several hundred miles away and several days of sailing, said that they'd take them. And so basically these people who have very little food, water, had to sail for a few more days over to Spain.
Because they're trying to get out of Libya, right?
And different places in Africa. And they just launch from there and cross, on little boats.
And they're looking for better lives. They're trying to go over there too. Okay.
So when we think about just global refugee crises that are happening, what responsibility do you think that thriving nations have in helping and accepting in refugees? Or do you think that countries like Italy and Malta or even the United States should just turn them away and say, hey, not our problem?
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Because of course, see, we go down to the bottom line of compassion for humankind, period, right? But then somebody will argue about the power structure of each country and what it would do to the power structure to be able to have extra. There wouldn't be citizens come in, but I don't know how to answer that. I really don't know how to even deal with a situation like that, because it's like if one country is doing bad and they're looking for help. Or do you think that another country should be obligated to help, even though it's a separate country? Or could it lead to like world domination if they start doing it? Like, all right, we'll start letting people in, but then we're going to take over your country to take over there with one domination. So now we got to look after the world. Do you get kind of what I'm saying? I don't think I'm explaining it right.
No, I get what you're saying, but
okay, let's bring it down to the smallest level. The homeless people here walking down the street here in Richmond. Or do you feel obligated to let them come and sleep in the living room with shoes on? Do you feel obligated because this is right here is your country? But you have compassion, right? But I guess it's limited on what you. So you feel like they should do something, but they couldn't come in the house.
In my home or in my country are two different things. I think that yes.
Well, some people look at the country as their home. Right?
I hear you. I think that we do have an obligation to help people.
Right.
Period. And we need to figure that out because we're all human beings first. And if you look at just the story of humanity, we all have migrated to everywhere in every corner of this earth. That's
some forcefully migrated.
Some forcefully migrated, yeah, but we all have migrated over the course of human history. So that's what people do, and no country is made up just of people who are from that country.
Right.
So,
absolutely
but what is the obligation? You look at what's happening right now here in America with refugees, people fleeing gang violence and persecution from different Latin American countries.
Like out in Mexico, what's happening right now.
And are trying to come seek asylum here, and they're being turned away at the border or detained at borders and family separation and all of that. So it's a hot topic globally. It's happening all over the place. But the big question is, should we care? Number one.
No, we shouldn't
Because
care.
a lot of people is like, oh, that's happening to those poor people. That's sad. Let me get on to my concert or to my this or to my that, back on with my life. It's happening over there.
Right.
But do these issues impact us all? And then what should be our cry to our lawmakers, our policymakers on how they should address this?
Yeah. No, because I was just thinking when you were saying that, because if I was in the position, of course I would want some help. If I was coming from Mexico and gun violence and starvation and different things like that, and where could I get it from? And I'm coming here begging for help. Of course I would want help. So I was trying to put myself in other shoes. I would want that. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to do about it though. Like, what can we do?
Start by talking about it. Hello, Just Chamia Show.
Hello. Talk about what can we do?
Because I think about what's happening in Libya. There were some stories earlier this year about this active slave trade.
Wait a minute. Do you think? Oh yeah, I remember. Hey, but wait a minute. What do you think would happen if the United States took it on, or other countries took it on? Like, all right, you know what, y'all can come over here. What would be the downfall? Like, why would they not want to do it? What do you think?
I don't know.
As far as playing devil's advocate, what would you say? Like, if you were the country, you wouldn't do it because what might happen?
I don't know. The thing that countries most often point to is fear of terrorism, which I think is, most oftentimes a scapegoat. There's things about that, or a stress on resources and who's going to pay for it. But if you look at all of the undeveloped land and unoccupied land that we have just in the world, there's a place for everyone.
It is.
So it's just a matter of figuring it out and affecting policies and change, even letting people plant and farm and do what they have to do. There's a way that we can do it. And the thing is, my opinion, and the show is not about my opinion, it's about yours, but there's a way. There's a way to figure it out.
There's always a way. Human kindness, period, point blank. That's the only way anything will ever be fixed, for loving each other and wanting to see better for anybody, regardless of your color or what country you come from. So until we get more of that, we got to push more of that in order to make things work a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah. A Harvard University report found that at least 4,645 people died in Puerto Rico due to Hurricane Maria. The official death toll reported was 70 times less than that. They said there was about 64 people that died. So this is kind of the same thing that happened with Hurricane Katrina, where the officials grossly underreported the number of people affected, grossly underreported the number of people dead. This shocking fact was barely covered by the mainstream media. At the same time, the Roseanne Barr thing was happening. So per Democracy Now!, Media Matters found that cable networks covered the Roseanne story for more than 10 hours on this same day that this Harvard study came out, which only had about 30 minutes of coverage. So 10 hours versus 30 minutes.
Wow.
First of all, did you know that there were thousands of people that had died in Puerto Rico?
Didn't know that.
Okay. How do you think that national news reporting has shifted and changed? Why aren't we getting information like this? And when you look at the fact that the loss of thousands of lives got 30 minutes of coverage, and a comedian saying some stupid stuff got over 10 hours. What's going on?
I don't know. They say the media is the devil. Period. The media, they want to guide you. They want you to know. There's so much stuff that happened in the world. You never know what happened. There's probably something happening right now they're not covering but know about. So I don't know what the true motive is, but the media is brainwashing and it guides you into. It guides your way of thinking, the way the world is, and different things like that. I don't know why they would do something like that.
Do you feel that news or most major news outlets are more pop focused and focused on what's popular culture or what the popular opinion? And
I think so. I think so. To boost ratings, because why would they do that? Why would they do that with Roseanne?
Right.
Because of a tweet. So a tweet outweighed thousands of deaths.
Right.
Basically. So
sad state of being. Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory, for many, many months after, and I believe there's still parts of the island that still don't have all of their infrastructure back, and we're almost a year later. Do you think that as an American citizen, that we're treating our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters, our fellow American citizens, as second-class citizens because they over there.
I don't know how to maybe how you act as an American. I don't know.
Like you got trying to claim
as an American. Nah. Well, the same thing with Flint, Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. And they've been a part of this country for way longer than Puerto Rico, right? Mm-hmm. So, America takes care of what they want to take care of, mm-hmm. So, and mainly wherever the money is. I would say wherever the whites is, but it's mainly wherever the money is. Well, the money, the top dog is the money man. So whatever's going to keep his money going, and wherever he wants to focus to go when it comes to the media, that's where it's going to go. Mm. The top dog.
Yeah.
The real white people. Mm-hmm. None of us have ever even met a real white person. We think we have. The real white people that control, you never see them.
You talk about that 1%.
Yeah. Well, that one that 1%. That one that's on top sipping one. Get rid of that. I don't want to see that on. People are dying. Change it to Roseanne. I don't know.
Right. Very true.
Those people right there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, it's all messed up. It's just it's basing all the way down to human kindness. Everything you bringing up right now, the human love for each other, it seems to be missing in every story you bringing up right now. So I mean, that might be the real story. People out there, we gotta love one another.
Hashtag love one another.
Look into the camera right now and say, I love you. Look whoever's next to you, say, I love you.
Right. Absolutely. Real talk, though.
No, real talk.
All right. The National Urban League released their annual State of Black America report. So, State of Black America report recently. In it, they say that the organization's new priority is going to be protecting areas of progress such as job growth, high school graduations, health, civic engagement, etc., from retrenchment under this Trump administration, because things have gotten in those particular areas better under the Obama administration. There's a lot that's happening right now in Black America that's happened recently. We could start with the NFL creating their new policy against protesting by kneeling during the national anthem. They said the players can stay in the locker room, but you can't be on the field kneeling, which you can't protest. You're right. We think about what happened with the brothers in Philly that were in Starbucks having a meeting, like people do every day at Starbucks, and the police was called on them. We think about what's happened at multiple Waffle Houses across the country where Black patrons have the police called on them. The sister that was thrown all on the ground, breast all exposed, all of that by police. We think about what happened at Yale. The Black graduate student there studying fell asleep in the common area while she was studying. Police called on her because her neighbor thought she didn't belong there. We think about what happened right here at Lake Merritt with Barbecue Becky calling the police on the brothers who was out there barbecuing, and even with the recent shooting of another unarmed young Black boy, 17 years old, that just happened, I believe, yesterday in I think Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So all of that. We think about Target. Father's Day just passed. Target, I don't know if you saw, they had some greeting cards for baby daddy, and there was an outcry about that. What is going on with race relations in America as it pertains to respecting the lives, the right to live, the right to have equality, the right to just be treated like a human being for Black folk?
I hear you. All right, for the police shootings, I was watching the thing with Dick Gregory maybe about a week or two ago. He said as much privilege and opportunity the white man has in America, why would he choose to be a police officer? You can make way more money being something else with all the privilege and all the opportunities you have being a white male in America, and you choose to be a police officer. For the license to kill is in his heart, the hate. He could have been lawyers, doctors. He could have they do whatever they want to do, but they said no. I want to be a cop. Why? Most people don't. When you got ways to make more money, a cop is the last thing on your mind to want to do. Why would you want to be a beat cop making $3,000 a month when you could be making more? The true nature of what's inside of them is the reason why a lot of them became that. Now, and that's just from the hate within themselves, and that brings the racial tension. They was raised like that, or however that hate got into their heart. But hopefully, some humanity, love will get pushed into them. As far as the whole Starbucks situation, I hear, I understand it, but I got earlier in the interview. We can't. Why would we want to be somewhere where we're not wanted? The Targets or whatever, where the Waffle Houses are, don't shop there then. We gotta shop at the Black Waffle Houses. We gotta go to the Black Coffee Java Houses. You know what I mean? You gotta go where, and that's business. Hey, well, this is my business. This is who I want to serve. Like, if whatever your favorite designer is, if they spoke out on we don't want black people wearing our product, would you still go buy it? I wouldn't, personally. Right, you wouldn't go buy it. You wouldn't. And I'm saying, your protest will be the not patronizing. So when it comes to business and equality and things, it goes back to the supporting our own. And we wouldn't have them kind of problems, you know what I mean? Now, the issue with the lady calling the police on her, well, we're going to sit here and wait. The lady said, go ahead and leave. No, we're going to sit here and wait. Well, you ain't buying nothing. You ain't going to the bathroom, or whatever the case may be. I don't know if it was a black coffee house or if it was another coffee house that reflected their own, it probably wouldn't have been that much of an issue. So in a way, it's like, okay, Starbucks tripping, we not messing with them no more. We're going to have our business meeting over here at Malik's Coffee and Chill Spot. So that's the only thing I can think of. But as far as the murder, the Black Lives Matter movement, Black Lives do matter. There's a lot of hate in the world. We got to figure out a way to protect ourselves from it. Like, my father used to be scared to death when I was a teen. He used to be scared for me going out there and he even urged me not to. His whole, don't fight with the police, don't talk back, and they pull you over, give me a license, don't be, why you pull me over? Don't give them a reason to shoot you. And then, I'm yelling, fuck police, I don't care about no police. Right. And then as I get older, the news keep on coming out. Oh, they shot another one down. Oh, they shot, like, yes, sir. Yes, officer, here you go. Right. Yes, sir. Here you go. Yeah. So when you think about, and there's several instances that we can point to. There was even another one in Berkeley, and just a group of black young folks walking down the street, and a black woman or a white woman coming and harassing them and calling the police, and the police coming and is like, what'd you call us for? Right. So this is happening too a lot more now, where we have white folks just calling the cops for seemingly no reason against black folks because they feel threatened, or we've heard they feel like, they weren't being nice to me, or different things like that. They know it's a possibility you could get killed, so they'll call for anything. You know what? Get down here. They barbecuing, so they hoping the right cops come. You think that's what it is? The right cops didn't come. She thought it was gonna thing, and they thought they was gonna get riled up. He was aggressive. He was trying to, but it wasn't them cops that happened to come that she wanted to come. So they survived the whole encounter. Every time you encounter a cop, it's 50-50. It's like a pit bull. Like, all pit bulls ain't bad. Right. But when you see him, you cross the street. You're like, do he bite? I don't even want to find out if he bite. Right. I don't want to find out if he a good or a bad dog. So if I see a loose pit bull walking around the neighborhood, I'm going to get in the car, close the door until he keep on walking. Because he could be good. He could sit when you told him to sit. He could play with a ball, do tricks. But I don't know that. He's a pit bull. He's a cop. So she was hoping the right cops would come. Every time, it's been situations when cops are called and they beat up and arrested the wrong person. Yeah. Kicked in the wrong door. Dude, when they call the police on you for something stupid, they hoping the right cops will come. Because that's what they tried to do. They was trying to knock you down. They didn't realize that, the people at the lake didn't realize that she was hoping the right ones would come. But it was a different scenario. So, Jay, who is responsible for identifying and educating and correcting these racist behaviors? Do black folks have an obligation for educating white people or others on this is what racism looks like? This is, you doing this is racist. This is how you should do. This is how you shouldn't. This is how you should engage me or not. Who's responsible for that? I feel like, all right, I got a two-part answer. Because if that's happening, you feel disrespected. So if somebody being racist to you, you feel disrespected because they're being racist to you. And I feel like no disrespect, regardless if it was racial or somebody of your own color, no disrespect should go unchecked. So if it's a disrespectful situation, whether you check them viciously, like hold on, or whether you politely check them and let them know, no disrespect should go unchecked. The racial tension, as far as being aware of it, being aware of what's happening, it should be taught amongst each other. Like, you pull my coattail on something that, hey man, that's kind of situation, man. This is how this whole breakdown, and here to put you down on some systematic racism type thing, systematic white supremacy, like my partner always does. He think everything, this systematic white supremacy. Look how much water you got. See, the white man, and he breaks it down like that on everything. But just when it comes to that thing, I wouldn't say you educate them as far as, you holding the class. It's just when it happens, you check it. You check it right then and there. Whether you're at work, because they'll check you for sure on whatever it is that they don't like. So,
as a black man in America, in the Bay, in Oakland, do you feel safe?
Yeah. I feel 75% safe. I think I feel more safe because I know how to move here.
Okay.
I know how to move around. I know how to, like, if I went somewhere else, all right, we just did a show in Memphis. And even though it was a wonderful time, no problems. And but I was just trying to watch and see how people moved because I don't know the area. I know the Bay. I know Oakland. I know where what areas might be kind of racist and what areas might be a little too hood, because we got bad stuff on our side too. We gotta watch out for each other sometimes. Like, oh man, them dudes coming, them cats from over there,
right.
They rough over in this area, but then it's rough over in the white area too, but in a different way. You know what I mean? So, I feel. I never feel safe if I get pulled over. Never feel safe. If I see the police, I kind of slow down and try to let them go. So, that type of thing, it's more situational here, whether for my safety. And I know where to be at. Like my father always said, man, stay out drug areas. You don't want to hang out in them kind of areas. Even if you ain't doing nothing, your friend, now y'all if you want to drink, go to a bar. Don't be hanging all on the corner drinking. You do things to make sure that you put yourself in a safe situation.
Right. As a father, what do you teach your child or children about their black identity and being black, just in America, in the world, or...
It might sound, I don't know if it sounds crazy. I just tell them, my pops used to tell me, I tell hey, you gotta be 10 times better than the white man. That's what I tell them. Anything you do, you gotta be undeniable, because if it's a job or a business that you're putting together, whatever it is you do, he got favor in the country. So if you're trying to go to college, they only got one spot. You got to be undeniable in order for you to get that spot. In order to compete in this world, not just with everybody else, but then if you're going against the white man too on a certain situation, you got to be undeniable. Period. Point blank. And to make sure that you're always right. Like, so when a situation goes down, they can't find anything where you were wrong in the situation, even if the situation was sour. So that's why I said, man, I'm telling my dad used to be on me hard, man. You ain't got no license, go park the car there. Man, they ain't gonna catch me. No, you want to be right.
Yeah. Because
when they pull you over, something happened, or he didn't have his license, tail light was out, make sure you're right on 100% on your job. Make sure you're 100% right. Everything, you gotta be right. You can't afford to be wrong. You can't afford to be wrong here. Because when you're wrong, they spank you. They spank
harder than others.
They spank you. I tell you a true story. A long time ago. Not proud of it. Went to jail. I was a juvenile. I was juvenile. I was 16 years old. Went to jail. Me and another dude. We was on the bus going downtown Oakland to go to juvenile hall court. And me and this other guy, white kid, exact same crime. We both went to court. He got sent home on an electronic monitor, and he had to do like 6 months on or whatever. He was like, yeah, man, because he went to court first. And he came back, guys, like, yeah, man, they gonna put me on electronic monitor. I gotta be at house arrest for 6 months. Cool. I go in there, I gotta go to Camp Wilmot Sweeney for 6 months. You see what I'm saying? But we did a first time offender. He was first time offender, same exact thing. He went home, I didn't though. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang. So then, you know, everybody, well, he had money for a lawyer. He had, well, you know, it's different out here. It's just different. So that's why you gotta always be right.
Yeah.
See, if I was right, I wouldn't even have been in that situation.
Right.
For them to even slap him softly and slap me hard, don't be in a position to get slapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although sometimes it happens, even if you did nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to be right. So now they can snatch you from something that you didn't even do nothing wrong. You want everything right. So at least if you got somebody, you can fight it, and you was right. You got to be right. You got to be right, people.
You got to be right.
You got to be right.
All right, so let's talk about Jay Rich. For those who don't know, you tell us, who is Jay? What's your background? Where you from? Who are your people?
My name is Jay Rich. I'm from Oakland, California. Born and raised here. Went to Claremont Junior High School. Went to McClymonds High School, class 9-9. What's going on, good people out there? How y'all feeling? Raised by my father. Got 2 older sisters. Started doing spoken word poetry in 99, 2000. Just started writing and performing. Years went by. Ended up hosting an open mic poetry at Dorsey's Locker. Comedians started coming to the poetry, begging me for stage time to do comedy. And I told them if they was garbage, I would talk about them. A couple of them was garbage, so I talked about them. And everybody said, hey man, you should do comedy. You funny talking about them. And then I started doing comedy. So that's how about 2013. About 2013 is when I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too long ago.
Not too long ago.
Okay. And so it sounds like you kind of just fell into that, and but certainly it's been growing for you. You just won the Bay Area Comedy Competition.
Tommy T's
out of what, 36 comics?
Well, actually, I added a couple. It was 40. 20 round. It was some hitters on there, man. Shout out to all the contestants, man. Very funny dudes.
So, what's probably one of the biggest stereotypes that you find as being a comedian? Are you expected to always be on, or? Some people expect you always to be on, and as far as, I don't know what kind of stereotypes. Yeah, they expect you always to be on, kind of. But I'm never on. Unless I'm on stage. Like, people are shocked, like people that don't know I do comedy, and somebody tell you, he does comedy? I'm like, yeah, I do a little bit of comedy. What are your feelings about the Instagram comedians, the 59-second funny people? Are they comedians? Do you call them comedians, or what do you feel about that?
They're comedians.
Okay.
I'm gonna say they comedians. The older comics, the ones older, they don't respect it at all. And I understand why they don't respect it. I feel like I'm in between. I feel like I'm like, all right, here's the Instagram comedians, right? I'm right here. All right, let me do it sideways because I don't want them to think I'm putting people down. So here I am. Here's the old school comedians, and here's the Instagram comedians. See, the old school, they the grinders. They hitting clubs. They city to city. They passing out flyers. They selling product after the shows. They building their name up one stage at a time. They traveling. They spending money. They going to New York for 3 weeks. Come back here to LA. They going out there making names for themselves and building that brand strong. Then you got the Instagram comedians. They come up, do 30 seconds. 60 seconds. Boom. Post. 50 million views.
Right.
Now the club owner said, hey man, we want you to come down and do our show. Do our club. Now 9 times out of 10, the club owner never booked him before. They booked him on a Wednesday. Just to see. He come on a Wednesday and that thing pack out like Mike Epps is there. Because he got so many followers on Instagram.
Right.
Club owner pays him $20,000. Boom, they go on to the next club. The older comedians like, man, I've been hustling all this time. And they getting on just like that. So I understand the frustration of the older comedians. Compared to the Instagram comedians, because they really raking up. They getting that bag, because what the club owner wants to know is, between the two, who's going to fill the seats up. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it's business. You know what I mean? It's back to business. So it's like, I could be funnier than you could pick an Instagram cat and put us both on stage. Maybe I'll kill him. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll murder him. Maybe he can't hang with me. Mm-hmm. But when he throws his show, it's 500 people in the audience. When I throw mine, it's 100. Mm-hmm. So who the club owner want?
Right. But when you, it's one thing to be funny for 59 seconds. It's another thing to have to do a 5, 10, 15 minute set. In your experience, and I don't know if you've worked with any of the Instagram comedians, and I'm just using Instagram. There's other social media platforms where you get folks to get the quick funny. Mm-hmm. Have you found that they're able to carry a set?
It's only 2 comedians. Well, it might. Well, I know from what I remember right now, it's 2 comedians I know that could really carry a set. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, that's a
lot of them out there.
Yeah, from the ones that I've encountered. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch. I've heard about other people, but there's a few comedians that's real Instagram. Like, Instagram funny, got 3 million followers. Mm-hmm. Fill up the house every time. But sometimes I feel like they're killing themselves, because when they come see you live, 9 times out of 10, the same people that came to see you live, I don't think they'll come back. Mm-hmm. Because the funny wasn't there. Because we doing an hour now. Mm-hmm. You still got 59 more minutes.
Wow.
So now you're gonna do each of your minute sets. You're gonna do 60 of your minute things. But don't get it twisted. No, there's some comedians out there that's Instagram. Like, don't get it twisted. Like me personally, I'm trying to be an Instagram comedian. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to build my following and do my little video stuff. I just feel like I'm stronger on stage, and I'm weaker on the Instagram. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to boost up my Instagram strength. So now I figure if I get my Instagram,
that's the way that the world is going.
Right, that's the way it's going. But that's not the only way. Uh-huh. But that's like, you know, that's Hollywood in your hand now. Now you can reach the world from your house. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, everybody, oh man, I need to get on TV. Once I get on TV, everybody see me, and then boom, I start getting booked like that. But you can do it from the house now. Mm-hmm. So now, in a way, there's more opportunities. You do it from your house. You still go on auditions, try to get in the movies, try to get in TV. A lot of them cats that have been on Instagram, they go straight to the TV and don't even think about stand-up no more. Because you know the stage is, in my opinion, I don't know, the stage is always going to be there. Mm-hmm. So if I got picked right now to do a movie with Kevin Hart or something, and we did 6 movies back to back, 9 times out of 10, I probably wouldn't be on stage because I'm filming movies. Right. So then when I'm finished with that, then what do? All right, let's go back to the stage. Mm-hmm. You know, that type of thing. So, you know, with them, the Instagram cats either they raking up their money at the clubs right now, and then hopefully they end up on TV. So I can understand why the OG comedians don't like it. They getting paid more than some of the OG comedians. Yeah. Yeah, that been rocking for 30, 40 years.
So speaking of OGs, and not necessarily just OGs, mm-hmm. but who have you learned from? Who have you learned from? Who's inspired you as a comedian?
I think comedy in general inspired me. I like everybody, but like it's a cat out in LA named Mark Prince. You ever heard of him? Mm-mm. Anyway, I call him he knows everybody. Mm-hmm. He's one of them dudes from the biggest star you could think of mm-hmm. to the dude that's doing open mic in Kansas somewhere. Mm-hmm. He knows him. If you got something to do with comedy, you know Mark Prince. Mm-hmm. But he influenced me a lot because he always pushed positivity on me, and he always just encouraged me. He was like, man, always do you, man. Talk about yourself. Don't be scared. Just go all the way out. So he influenced me a lot as far as the confidence in my material. And then of course my local folks, man. You know you know when you rock with them, you know steel sharpens steel. So you mm-hmm. know.
So do you feel that the Bay Area comedy scene and the other comedians here are supportive of you, or is it highly competitive?
I think it's both. I think it's both. It's highly competitive, not to the point where I want to be funnier than you. Mm-hmm.
It's not cutthroat.
No, well, I know some cutthroats. There's some cutthroats out there, mm-hmm. but it's more of a competitive spirit. Like it's competitive on everything. When you're in school, what they tell you need to go to school for, so mm-hmm. you can be able to compete in this world. Same thing. You're competing in this world. If she's booking a show and they only got one spot left, who you want them to book. I want them to book me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to write as much heat and add as much anything that I can so that when they think comedy, they think me. And they come to pay me. And then if they like, I'm like I said before, I'm a strong believer in our own stuff. If I'm not getting booked, I'll throw my own shows. And
I've been to a few Chamia shows, and I have a great time.
Yeah, a great time. Wonderful. Come on out.
That's right. How do you deal with the rejection or the no laughs if you don't get them? How do you build that muscle?
I don't know what that's like. I've never encountered that situation. No, you should. No, I always look at it like, man, if they laugh, it's a joke. If they don't laugh, it's a statement. I just made a statement. Or I always like, if I do a joke and they don't laugh, I always think to myself, one, why didn't they laugh? Did they not understand it? Did they not understand the joke? Am I saying it wrong? Or is it really not that funny? So then I'll go over it. I'll say it 5-6 more times before I try to reconstruct it again. Like, all right, let me try to say it this way. 6 more times. If they just don't understand it, then it must not be funny. I probably won't say it no more. Or I'll put it to the side, and then maybe a year later I'll write another joke, and then that'll go good with that. And I'll be like, oh, I'll put this together, and then make that blow up like that.
What's your message to the aspiring comedian out there, Instagram or otherwise, or just to young people that are trying to find their path and think that this comedy thing might be the route?
Number one, if you're going to do comedy, you got to love it. You got to really want to do it. Go for any career in the world, you have to want to do it. And that got to be, it got to be what you want, like period, what you want to do, because it's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times you do a show and the promoter don't pay you. And then you're going to be all discouraged. There's going to be times you go on stage and bomb. There's going to be times you done flew somewhere and the show got canceled, or they didn't have the rule. It's a lot of, comedy is easier ways to make a living than comedy. So if you want to do comedy, it's got to be something that you love and want to do. Because you can't just do it for the money.
Right.
You can't do it, even though the money will come, but you can't do it for the money, especially in the beginning, because it's like a bad relationship. You love it, it just treats you so bad sometimes. But when you're on stage, that's when it's good, and that's when you feel loved, and and all that. You know what I mean? So in order, if you want to do comedy, you got to make up your mind. This is what I want to do, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it, regardless on what happens, regardless on what bad breaks, regardless on, you know what I mean? You know how many competitions I've lost before I won this one that just passed. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's how it go. You win some, you lose some, but if you keep on keeping on, then that's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna do comedy. And I'm not even big yet, and I feel like that. You can't do this and not love it, because if you just kind of like it, you'll quit. I know 40 comedians I started with quit. They working security guard jobs now because they didn't love it. They don't,
You gotta love it.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
You gotta like it. You can't like it. You gotta love it.
And like
your marriage got to be in jeopardy. If you're gonna do this, don't nothing come before it, except for God.
Yeah.
And whoever you pray to.
Right. So you just said again you were the last man standing at this Bay Area comedy competition. Congrats again on that.
Thank you.
What's next for you, Jay?
What else do I got next? I got a couple. I'm being Brentwood this Saturday. I'm doing a show with Rick Sullivan. My next out of town, I'll be in Portland, Oregon, and I'm just doing little tour dates with Paul Mooney right now.
Awesome.
So wherever they call me to tell me to mark the dates, and I'm ready to go. So.
And how's that working with the great man? I've met him a few times.
Wonderful. Paul's cool, man. Real kickback, laid back. Yeah, man. Oh, homie. All that. Hey, homie, how you doing? He don't shake hands. He got
Right.
No, but it just feels great rocking. It feels great rocking with him. Just with an old school legend like that. Used to be with Richard.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I be walking through the airport with him, you feel
right, chin up, chest out. That's right.
I mean, they talk. Hey, Paul out here. Need us all cleared out the way, please. I said I need it cleared out the way.
Right.
Come on, Paul.
Where can people find you, Jay?
You can find me on any social media under JRich510. I don't care what it is. It's gonna be JAYRICH510. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. My email, jrich510@yahoo.com. Everything's JAYRICH510.
All right, you heard the man. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for bringing me on down. I was so nervous for this interview. I didn't know what was happening.
It's fine.
But it was wonderful. It was good.
Thank you.
It was good.
See y'all next time, folks.